So hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Video Game Hunting. I've got some interesting footage for you this week. I'm actually going, I went to Virginia and Times Square, and I didn't go into any flea markets, sadly, although I did see very many, so if you're around there, maybe you should check them out. But yeah, I got some cool footage nonetheless of the different places I went to last week here in Montreal. Enjoy the show. In Times Square. Alright, hey guys, so I'm in Times Square with a school trip in New York City and looking for video games. Found one cool thing which I'll show later. And yeah, not too much luck so far. Sadly, I can't go too far out of the boundaries since I'm with the school. So yeah, I actually managed to find a good deal on something in Times Square, which is pretty funny because, you know, everything there is like a chain store. You know, you've got Toys R Us in there. And the sad thing is, I was actually really hoping to go to Nintendo World and pick up maybe some plushies or, you know, some little memorabilia, but we weren't allowed out of the Times Square area because we had to go to a show that evening up in Columbus Circle. So that was really disappointing, but at the same time, it was pretty cool that I managed to find a deal like that. Hey guys, look who I found in Times Square. Fred looks nothing like him. So we are about to go into a few pawn shops that I found along the way. Never been to these ones before, so I'm really hopeful that they're going to find some stuff since, you know, never picked through the stuff here before. So yeah, let's head on in. Hey guys, I found a nice box full of Super Nintendo. Little did I know I would soon find, I think here's where I found my nice copy of Wild the Guns, which will be in one of the next few pickup videos. There wasn't really anything much else. It seems like it's one of those places that really prices by employee. I've noticed that at a lot of these, I guess you could say, like chain pawn shops or any pawn shop really. Sometimes you can get great deals and sometimes you won't. And I'm starting to think that it's because of the employees, because it kind of depends on which days I go, you know. New stuff on certain days will be great priced and new stuff on certain other days won't. So I'm going to have to start, you know, figuring out who works when and who can give me the best deals. Of course, as usual in these pawn shops, found tons of sports titles because, of course, like everywhere else, been picked through several times. But still, nice finds here nonetheless. Now onto the box of Nintendo games, which kind of surprised me because although their Super Nintendo games were not priced terribly, you know, $30 for Star Force is a little bit much if you ask me. However, I still did pull out the rest of it and just saw what they had. Nothing too rare, but some interesting titles nonetheless. Nothing I was really willing to pay for, but as always, nice to find a nice box full of Nintendo games. Found some more over at this pawn shop. A bunch of games, really common titles. Nothing too rare or nothing too worth it. Here I am going into another pawn shop. This one I had never been into before as well, so I really found a bunch of new ones. They had a few good games over there, but they had rental stickers on them, so that's probably the only reason that they actually still had them. As far as Super Nintendo titles went, pretty weak, but as far as pricing goes, but they had some interesting things that you generally don't find because they've been picked through, like Mario Kart, DKC. Checking out the DVDs to see if there's any GameCube that slipped by. And here I am going into, good old pawn shop that I always hit up. You're going to see a lot of things that you've probably already seen before, because this one hasn't been updated. Although I think I actually did find a cool Genesis game. But yeah, a lot of the pawn shops have kind of been dry lately. They actually got a nice stack of Game Boy games, which I'm checking out here. Sadly, I didn't, I didn't want to pay what they're asking, because they're all common titles, even though they were good titles. I had most of them. There's one Castlevania game that kind of interested me, but that was about it. So some more Game Boy games over at this place over here. Nothing too special. There's some loose PSP UMDs, Game Boy Advance. I think at this place I actually saw the Tribe Game Boy Advance SP. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a special edition that kind of is one of those that gets slipped through. It's not that valuable, but still a pretty cool item to find. Here are some cool handhelds. Everything overpriced. This place, I know it's a reseller's den. But once in a while I find things that slip through the cracks, if I'm lucky enough to get them, and so that's basically why I check them out. On their common titles, the games really aren't that overpriced. I mean, you got complete in-box Game Boy Advance games here, some regular Game Boy Advance games. If you really want a game, you can go there and you don't pay a ridiculous amount, but you're paying more than you'd like to, that is for sure. Just like most retail places, Tons of Genesis games, some nice titles in there, nothing that interested me too much, sadly. Here I actually found a nice gold mine of resale stuff. You got $10, $5 for Pokemon games, Zelda games. You can sell those for 15 to $20 a piece. And you can't ever argue with cheap NES games. I only ended up picking up a few because the amount I had with me, and because some of them were oddly overpriced, like that Contra over there. So yeah, it's the same thing, guys. I don't know if you guys have that too, where sometimes the games will be great priced and others it won't. There's no real explanation I can find, but I mean, there's some games in there, like there's $4.99, $1.99 games, and then you have others that are sports titles for $20. So I don't know really what's going on over there, but look, I don't mind finding games for $3, $2 a piece. The Tetris and then Mario were just too much for me. I already have both of them complete in box, and I was not going to pay $25 for that. Although I did pick up several nice common games here that I wanted to add to my collection that I did not have yet. Always great to find a lot of NES games. Come to this place pretty often. Picked up that game too over there. The guys over there are starting to get to know me, so they've put a few. So yeah, I was walking through a pawn shop, and it was one that you could tell they were used to people coming in for their games. They had I'd never been in there before. I just discovered it, but they had quite a few games in there. But everything was either overpriced or it had been picked through clearly. It was a lot of really common titles, and by the amount they had, you could tell that they've had more than just common titles. But basically, as I was looking at it, I saw a little box behind the guy at the counter. It's a little Nintendo box, and I asked to look through it. And I found Wild Guns, and I didn't get it on camera sadly, but it's it's a really rare game. It'll be in probably next week's pickups. It's another game that I've been looking for. I'm just so lucky to be finding these games. Wild Guns is it's another rare Super Nintendo game, and it cost me, what was it, $5, $10? The guy he had a few. He said he'd just gotten them in. I guess that's why they hadn't been picked through. So yeah, I'm gonna be going there more often now and looking through that box and anything else they have there. Back on the road for some NES titles. Let's see what we've got here. Sports, and more sports. Oh, I don't think that one's sports. Low G-Man. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same place over here again. Didn't find anything this time, however. I found a few nice things a few weeks ago. And, yeah. So we've got some Super Nintendo games in the background, which I'm going to check out soon. But overall, sometimes it's really hit or miss, especially when you go so often. I go there maybe not several times a week, but as often as I can. And I only actually find stuff once in a while, but you know, when you find great games at a great price, nothing beats it.
Retro Mike making another business call.
This place has seemed to be, been picked through always before I get there. Once or twice I have found some nice titles here, but you know, it's really been a while since those days. And some good old Game Boy games stuck at Value Village. You're gonna see me looking under the glass case soon to try to find the prices on these. They're $8 they're asking per game. I can go buy them on eBay for $5 before shipping probably. So there's no point in that. They're common titles, not hard to find. Kind of disappointing, but at least it's nice to see that they've got games over at Value Village finally again, because they don't always have that. Especially lately, everything's been so dry. There is 3 really bad fake Pikachus over here. I'm kind of debating whether I should get them or not. Probably not, they're really ugly. Alright. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Video Game Hunting. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can add me on Facebook, which is just facebook.com/RetroGamerVlog, or you can add me at RetroMike. You can follow me on Twitter at RetroGamerVlog. And so yeah, thank you for leaving comments, subscribing, liking the video. I'll see you guys next time.